Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar today about the PPP loan program. We've received so many questions and know that there's some confusion about the documentation that's required and what can be included, that we thought we would do another webinar this morning to answer some of your questions. A few housekeeping things. Please put yourself on mute. We'll take questions at the end in the chat box on the bottom right. You can put in your questions and we will answer those at the end of the webinar. And also, this is being recorded and will be put on our website later today for people that didn't have an opportunity to get into the webinar this morning. We have a huge turnout of clients, so we're really happy to see that so many of you got the loan and want to make sure that you're keeping track of your expenses and things correctly. Again, I want to thank you on behalf of my staff, Greg, your payroll specialist, Melissa, and Judy, as well as Megan and Gail, who work behind the scenes here at PayPlus. They're all on the webinar with me today and are happy to answer any questions. If you have after the fact, you can reach out to them to get answers for things. We are still awaiting some guidance from Congress and the SBA, so that's why we thought that we would do this again today. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we will start the webinar. So you've got the Paycheck Protection Program loan. Congratulations. We're super happy for you that you were able to get that. First of all, I want to have a disclaimer on here. The information we are providing is based on a lot of different sources, webinars that we've attended, professionals that we've spoken to, the SBA, the IRS, and information from the CARES Act. There is more guidance that's expected from the SBA by May 14th, so there could still be some changes in the loan. Forgiveness is being clarified. There's also an 8-week grace period that Congress is looking at changing, but that's not guaranteed. So as far as we're concerned, you have 8 weeks to use your money for the loan. Some facts about the PPP loan. One of the things that people were not aware of is this is a tax-free loan or a grant, but the expenses that you use on the PPP loan are not deductible on your tax return, so you cannot double dip. There is a pending bill introduced to the Senate, which could change this, but right now, any expenses that you use for the PPP loan cannot be also used on your tax return as deductible expenses. As you know, the PPP loan is for fewer than 500 employee-sized businesses, and the employees must be U.S. residents. One of the things that was a criteria of the loan is that your business was having some current economic uncertainty and that the loan was necessary to support ongoing operations. Those are requirements of the loan. Expenses must be meticulously documented and provided to the lender, and lenders have not yet, to my knowledge, come out with the way they want the documentation to be provided to them. So you need to find out from your lender as you get close to the end of your 8-week period what they need and how they want it submitted to them. One thing we've asked is for our clients not to change bank accounts if you're using your same bank for your loan that you normally use for your business. And the reason for this is that not all your payroll expenses are being able to be included anyway, and very likely your funds will run out, but you haven't actually recorded the correct expenses from your payroll. So if you keep it with your normal bank account, it will be easier for you to keep track of the expenses. Plus, you also have to remember at the end of that 8-week period to change back to your existing bank account unless you're going forward moving with that new bank, totally, because there is a possibility of bouncing your payroll if you don't change back to the original account. Judy has worked meticulously on our newsletters, our blogs, our Facebook posts, and we will be sending out a reminder to people as we think they're getting close to the 8-week period to make that change back to their original account if they've changed. That's why we're recommending you not change bank accounts. Important considerations for the PPP loan. Borrowers must document in writing good faith efforts to rehire laid off or furloughed employees. If an employee declines an offer to return to work, the full-time employee calculation will not be included, but you need to document that in writing and a response from the employee that they are not coming back to work. Employees who decline to be rehired may have their unemployment benefits stopped. We understand that people are making a good amount of money right now in unemployment, and that's why some clients have told us their employees don't want to come back, but they may lose those unemployment benefits if they decline an offer to be rehired. Your funds must be used for the PPP loan to retain or rehire employees, or to hire new employees if you need to do that. One of the things you should also do is make plans to leverage your salaries and wages before the end of the 8-week period. And we have several ways, for you to do that and for you to keep track of it. One of the questions that has come up is, should you return your PPP loan? You want to look again at your company's financial condition when you applied for the loan. Do you feel you needed the loan to justify retaining your employees? If the loan is repaid, are you comfortable that you have enough cash to effectively run your business? You want to document everything. Have you lost clients? Did you lose contracts? Is your revenue lower? Did you have canceled orders, etc.? The loan can be returned at no penalty until May 15th, and you need to speak with your lender if that is the situation that you are interested in. What can't the loan be used for? This is really important. Any compensation in excess of $100,000, which for an 8-week period would be $15,385. That is the most any one person can make in the 8-week period. So anything above that cannot be used to satisfy the payroll part of the PPP loan. Your FICA and your Medicare expenses cannot be used for that payroll calculation. Any non-US residents, that compensation cannot be included. Very important to note is that the payroll has to be at least 75% of the loan. It can be more, but it has to be at least 75%. The remaining 25% can be used for utilities such as rent, mortgage interest, phone, internet, gas, and heat. What can the loan be used for? Again, your gross wages under that $15,385 as the maximum, including bonuses, sick time, vacation, or any PTO. Your state unemployment. In Massachusetts, we have 2 state unemployment taxes, Mass Health and Mass SUDA. In New Hampshire, it's just listed as New Hampshire SUDA, and we're in about 30 other states, and those would also have the state name and SUDA next to it. That is what can be included in addition to your gross wages. You can also include employer-paid health insurance, employer-paid matches on your 401k plan or your simple plan, and your utilities, electric, gas, water, phone, and your internet. Regarding mortgage interest and rent, those need to be established before February 15th to be able to be included. So if you've just recently rented a building, you cannot use that. They need to be contracts that were in place before February 15th. And for the payroll information, there's 2 payroll reports that we send you each pay period that will be very helpful in gathering this information: your payroll summary and the payroll detail report. On the payroll summary, I've circled in red the items that you want to capture. Your Mass Health is over here under tax totals, and your Mass Unemployment is over here under tax totals as well. So that in Massachusetts are the 2 unemployment figures that you're capturing. On the payroll detail report, you want to capture the gross wages for that pay period, not year to date, which is going to be the very far right column. So you can see this includes, for this particular business, vacation, regular, holiday, and miscellaneous pay are their normal pay dates. Here's their gross wages. They also have a 401k plan. So this is their employer match on the 401k plan. You would also see employer health over in here if you had an employer paid health plan. Documentation is the key for loan forgiveness. I can't emphasize that enough. We had sent everyone a very simple spreadsheet that I had designed that started with the loan amount on the top and the period of 8 weeks. And again, the loan funding date is the date that the funds are in your bank account. That is the first day of your loan. So you need to count up 8 weeks from that day till the end of the 8 weeks. In this case, it was May 1st to June 26th for this client, and put in your wages, your simple match, your SUTA. Here we have a phone bill, employer health, mortgage interest or rent, electricity, heat, and it will deduct down from the original balance of 62.5. A very basic, simple spreadsheet for you guys to use. In addition, we recently spoke with a company that has designed a much more robust template. This template gives you a dashboard that shows current costs and projected costs. It also shows a weekly summary, which includes calculation based on the pay frequency. It has an area to exclude your COVID-19 pay. A lot of clients have been paying their employees some COVID-19 pay and EIDL exclusions. It has projected percentages and actual percentages. It also has on there a $100,000 maximum calculator for employees that are over $100,000. It has a running total of current and projected data and a full-time employee tracking. There's 5 different tabs to this spreadsheet. So these are just a few of the tabs on there. I think this one is very important and very key. Shows the current cost of a current payroll and the projected cost over the 8-week period. And as you see in this situation, if you're looking at a pie with 100% being, blue would be all the way up to here, 75% should be over here for the projected payroll cost. So this client is, in fact, not going to meet the 75% threshold if they continue to do what they've done with prior payrolls. And these are examples. Obviously, these aren't real clients that we're showing. But then it shows on here the balance that's left and the projected balance that's left at the end of the 8-week period. This is another page on that spreadsheet where you put in the funded date, the maximum loan amount, the pay frequency, the full-time employees, and these are the 2 pay periods that have to be used for your full-time employee count. And full-time employee is a little bit open to what that means. In most businesses, it's 30 or more hours of work per pay period. You have to maintain one of these 2 numbers to have the loan forgiven. Your full-time equivalent last year from 215 to 630, or this year from 1/1 to 229. And as the client puts the data in here, it's projecting out onto the other pages if they're going to meet those obligations. There's also an area in here to subtract out your COVID pay. That's very helpful for people that have been doing that because it cannot be included. Best practices, again, keep accurate records of all PPP expenses and record them weekly. Do not wait until the end of the 8-week period. You want to know where you're going as you're going through this process. 8-week begins on the day the loan was funded, the funds were put in your bank account. During that time, you should rehire laid off or furloughed employees or hire new employees. You can reduce salaries if you need to do that, but not more than 25%. Document offers to hire back employees and their responses if they don't want to come back to work. And during that 8-week period, leverage any bonuses, make sure your utilities are included to make sure that you do fully use the PPP loan funds. Loan forgiveness foreseeable issues. Full-time or FTE equivalent is being reduced. You want to make sure, again, those numbers stay where they were during those 2 pay periods that I had shown on the other screen. You have until June 30th at this time to restore the number of employees. If your employees don't return to work and it is documented, you will not be penalized. If you don't have documentation, you will be penalized. By June 30th, you need to restore the rates of pay to your employees. And again, you need to check with your lender on the documentation requirements that they have. They have 60 days to review the expenses after you submit them to them. And then the SBA has 90 days to approve those expenses. We do know that loans over $2 million will likely be audited. It's possible that lower loans will be audited, but that has not been conveyed yet. The PPP spreadsheet that I gave you, as I said, is available to the clients. We are probably going to be buying it. It's very expensive. We are going to offer it to our clients for $150. We are also going to be working in conjunction with banks and CPA firms, and they will be paying a much higher fee for that product. But we will discount it for the clients that want to use that enhanced spreadsheet. Just reach out to your payroll specialist or to me if you think that's something that you would like to do. Then the questions. We've gotten a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to answer those now as best I can. Let's see. Can it be used for 1099 employees? No, the loan has to be used for regular W-2 employees. You cannot include a contractor in your loan calculations. What about increasing salaries? Absolutely, you can increase salaries for your employees or give them bonuses, which I'm sure any and all of them would really appreciate during this time period. You just cannot go over, again, that $100,000 maximum figure, which is the $15,385 in that 8-week period. What is the rate of the loan? So if you do not use all of the loan proceeds, it's a 1% loan that you can continue with. If the payroll is less than 75%, is the forgiveness prorated? That I do not know an answer to. You would have to check with the SBA on that directly. Are you required to offer full-time employees but not part-time employees? You need to rehire any employees that you had when you applied for that loan, because again, that's where your number of employees or that full-time equivalent was based on. So you need to offer both full and part-time employees to come back to work. When I'm recording expenses, what do I do about utilities that are only paid once a month? Just record them in the period where you've paid them. The thing to note that's really important too is that it's a cash basis that they're looking at for the recording of the expenses for the PPP loan. So it does not matter what the pay period was, it's what the check date was, what your payroll date was. And you do have the opportunity at any time during this, especially at the end, if you find that you're running short with your payroll, to double up on your payroll or to run an additional payroll, or to change a payroll date. We've had some clients that know already, let's say their payroll got funded on the 1st of the month and their last check date is going to be the 2nd of the next month or something, you know, for just terms of ease of talking about that. They want to make sure that that last payroll falls within the 8-week period. So they're going to move their check date to an earlier date. You just need to let your payroll specialist know if your check date needs to be changed or if you need to run an additional payroll. Can we get a copy of this presentation? Yes, it's going to be recorded and will be put on our website hopefully this afternoon. I have an LLC, but I'm not on payroll. Is there a way to pay myself? You would need to speak to your CPA. I know some of our clients that are LLCs have put themselves on payroll to make sure that they do reach that 75% threshold. Our business pays a lot of utilities for our clients, and then we bill those out. For the purpose of the PPP loan, do we need to be careful about those expenses? Yes, absolutely. The PPP loan is given to your business, so you need to record only your business's utilities to satisfy the loan. What are the dates the loan is covering? So that's different for everybody. We know some clients got the loan 2 or 3 weeks ago. Some are just getting the funding now. So you need to, keep track of the date that you got funded with the loan and when your 8-week period ends. And that's why that second spreadsheet, that more robust product that we're purchasing, is very beneficial because it does keep track of that for you. Can we use 100% of the loan for payroll? Yes, absolutely. We do know some businesses were projecting that they're not going to be able to be open fully, and they did not apply for the full amount that they could normally get for the loan. They only included some of their employees in the loan figures because they were restaurants or gyms or something like that, that it's unlikely they're going to open up fully, during this 8-week period. So they are going to be using 100% of the money for their employees and not including utilities. Could postage be forgiven? No, not a utility, cannot be included. And how do we calculate the weekly payroll if the loan starts midweek? It's just whatever that date is. Again, it's the check date, so adjust your check dates as you need to as you get close to the end. Run an extra payroll. Put family members on the payroll if you're in dire needs and you're not going to hit your figures, and give bonuses. Everybody loves a bonus. Can the funds be used to compensate over $100,000 if it's a bonus? No, you absolutely cannot go over the $15,385 for any one employee. So if their bonus brings them under that figure, that's fine. But if it's going to be over that figure in the 8-week period, you cannot go over that for any reason. Let's see. Do part-time employees qualify? Yes. Part-time and full-time employees are considered in your FTE numbers. And I think that is it. I don't see any other questions. Again, reach out to your payroll specialist or to me if you have any other questions, or if you do want to buy the other product. We will be buying that hopefully soon if we have enough interest. I think it's going to be very helpful. I'm certainly going to use it for our business here. Again, the webinar is being taped and will be put on our website. We wish you, your families, your coworkers continued good health. We will get through this together. It's been great to see everybody's faces. I hope you're all doing well, and we are here for you in any way that we can. Thank you. Have a good day.